Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute pleasure joining you here at Davos 2025 to talk about the aspiration of positioning the state of Andhra Pradesh as a global petrochemical hub. It is my pleasure to welcome here on the panel the Chief Minister, the Honorable Chandrababu Naidu. A big round of applause for the Honorable Chief Minister. And I have with me a special set of panelists who are going to discuss, elaborate and share their insights on why they believe that India is positioned to leverage on the opportunity that presents itself and why the state of Andhra Pradesh specifically has the advantage of positioning itself as a petrochemical hub. But before I get to my panelists, let me address that very same question to the Chief Minister. Mr. Naidu, many thanks for joining us here. Let me start by asking you about why you believe your state is best positioned to be a petrochemical hub. You'll have to use the mic, sir.
Good evening. As you rightly mentioned, there is a consistent growth in petrochemical, either utilization and downstream industries. It is continuously growing. India also is growing very fast. If you see as on today, fifth largest economy, third largest purchasing power parity. Another 2 years' time or 3 years' time maximum, India will become third largest economy. Our Honorable Prime Minister is promoting and in a big way, not only one or two sectors, overall development of the country. Now growth rate is very impressive. Even people are projecting by 2028 incremental growth rate. Compared to any other country, India will be the highest. So with all these things, again, petrochemicals is growing at the rate of CAGR 7.3%. Even in India, it is growing better than that. So by even contributors for India, 6% to GDP, 5 million people employment, investments also 87 billion, and also by 2040, around 1 trillion industry. These are all very important notable points. As on today, we are having Visakhapatnam, HPCL or BPCL? HPCL. And also now BPCL is coming to Ramayanpatnam. That is what we are working with them. Already started around 90,000 crores. And if they bring partners, it will be better than that. So if you can see in all round, petrochemical is inevitable, but sustainability, how to go for innovation, and also creativity, downstream industries, how far we can reach. We have to balance long term, short term. Some people may have some doubts about green energy is coming. Is there any impact? According to me, there won't be much impact. Parallelly, either green energy and also petrochemical will move forward. That is what is showing as on today. So that is where, for me, personal gain is employment, contribution to my GSDP, and also economy will boost. That is the work we are doing now. Once port BPCL is coming, then port will be viable. Then that port will become Ramayanpatnam will become a township itself. We are having sea coast, nearly 1,000 kilometers. As on today, 5-6 good ports are there another 3 ports are under construction. Around 10 ports will come. For petrochemicals, compulsorily port is necessary. So, with the next one is not only BPCL, petrochemical, and also other industry will come. Then automatically that ecosystem will emerge. That is the biggest advantage we are going to gain. That's why we are promoting, not only promoting, but they are also showing interest. Andhra is the best. I am very happy. It is a win-win situation.
Well, yes, I would imagine that it should be a win-win situation, but making it a win-win situation will also mean that the government will perhaps be looking at incentivizing investment, incentivizing industry. Are you looking at any specific incentives, Mr. Naidu, to draw in investment into the petrochemical space?
Better my friend has to tell that.
Mr. Singh, let's address the issue, and of course also the dilemma that the Chief Minister spoke of. Energy consumption, energy demand in India growing at 7 to 8% and is expected to grow even further. We do have a significant renewable energy target as well, along with, of course, the existing fossil fuel driven energy. What do you see as the mix going forward? But more importantly, as the Chief Minister was pointing out, leveraging Andhra Pradesh's strengths to ensure that investment moves there.
Thank you, Shirin. First of all, let me thank Honorable CM for inviting me here and put our perspective. As was explained by Honorable CM then about the advantages what Andhra is having. So Andhra is having the geographical as well as demographical, then a kind of human resource, the culture of working. I think this is a tremendous kind of opportunities in the state of Andhra. We had been present in Andhra for quite some time, almost about 3 decades, and we find that it has been one of the most conducive state in that. Let me thank Honorable CM from core of my heart that I met almost about few months back, and I came to meet him only for 5 minutes, but I think that lasted for about an hour, and I could get a clear kind of mentoring in that meeting more than anything else, that what we are thinking, that how the green energy can be utilized. And let me just try to put forward here the point is that now the energy we have studied in our school that energy can be transformed from one form to the other form. So till now we had been only talking about how to convert the molecule into electron as far as the electricity is concerned. And now we are dreaming rather than we are putting action that how the electron can be converted into molecule. Yes. And that molecule will be kind of will be served as a kind of the petrochemical also. And the as you know very well that the foundation stone for the first hydrogen hub in the country was laid by Honorable PM, I think then with all kind of support and persistence from Honorable CM. About a month, not even a month back, then as recent as that, and this is going to be the first hydrogen hub. And this is going to be green chemicals coming out of that. And once you are having the chemical, the hydrocarbon, the beauty of the hydrocarbon is, and I'm sure that Mr. Sani will be able to explain far better because he's a chemical engineer, I'm still a mechanical engineer. That once you are
a nice jugalbandi going, so both of you to explain that to us.
So once you are having any of this hydrocarbon chemical, you can convert that into that. So it's not only to be the crude which need to be imported and then converted into the kind of downstream into petrochemicals, other chemicals, etc. But maybe I think soon we will have our own self-reliance on that side, and the story is starting from the state of Andhra. And what started like as an IT story in the country, similarly I'm sure that the story of this green chemicals and the petrochemicals and then kind of actual transition and the net zero will be the path which will be really enabled by this kind of.
Well, that certainly is the hope. Yes, sir, you wanted to say something.
No, I'm very happy. This is where people are talking as on today green hydrogen. Then NTPC has come one step forward. Now nearly 1.87 lakh crores investment over a period of 7-8 years. And also Honorable PM has laid foundation and backward integration with green energy, that is solar, wind, pumped energy, everything. Here if you see, one is petrochemical, one is green energy downstream industries, green hydrogen. Andhra Pradesh is having 10 ports. For petrochemical, port is required. Green energy for export, again, port is required. So both are possible, as you rightly mentioned. Now there is a huge demand also we have to create. Green hydrogen, all these things. Now that is the future. For sustainability, we have to bring reforms in, I can say, fuel or energy. Earlier we are all talking, and also downstream industries, so many chemicals, and also other areas also. Now, as you rightly mentioned, now people are talking about green energy, then how to go for hydrogen, ammonia, all these things. If necessary, how to convert again power. This is a very interesting situation is happening today now. Yes. For that, Andhra Pradesh is the leader. 30% of green energy, green hydrogen by 2030, Andhra Pradesh is going to add in the country. We are proud of it. 1/3 from Andhra Pradesh.
Well, that is a big target that you've set, Mr. Naidu, as far as green hydrogen is concerned, and that is something that the government of India at the center has also been backing. And of course, India has the aspiration of being the lowest cost producer of green hydrogen. We've already seen a production-linked incentive scheme by the central government for electrolyzers to deal with green hydrogen. But Mr. Sani, let's take that jugalbandi forward now, adding to what we heard there from Mr. Singh as well as from the Chief Minister on what we need to do next now to ensure that these targets are in fact realized.
Yeah, thanks, Shireen, and thank you, sir, for inviting us here. I'll talk more about the petrochemical side. Sir, as you rightly said, that once there are 3-4 imperatives which are required for developing a petrochemical hub, which Andhra Pradesh and sir, your vision aspires to be. The first and foremost is the feedstock. The feedstock, as you rightly said, that with the refinery coming in and the petchem cracker coming in at the cost of around $10 billion. So that will provide an anchor for all your petrochemical dreams going forward. That is one thing. But sir, in the downstream, because this we have witnessed in several places, that until unless the downstream infrastructure is ready and kicking, then we are not able to realize the whole potential of the feedstock that is available there, sir. That is one. One is infrastructure in terms of roads, ports, which I am sure, sir, you are taking care of, and you have already mentioned that you will be having ample of them. The roads connecting to ports themselves, and those are all will be taken care. I am very sure, sir, with your visionary leadership, it will be done, sir. The other part is, sir, what is required is market. Once we go into downstream, then the downstream market has to be ready to receive those kind of products. And especially in southern India, we know the markets at around 20-25% of the petchem consumption happens in Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. These are the 3-4 states wherein 20-25% of the consumption of petrochemical is happening, and we don't have any production capacity of petrochemicals downside of India's anywhere. Only MRPL is one small exception. Otherwise, that is Mangalore. So otherwise, we don't have many petrochemical industries downstream, but consumers are there. Right. So that is one. Plus, sir, for the vision, for realizing your vision of a petrochemical hub, a large kicking petrochemical hub, for example, whether it is Port of Antwerp or it is Jurong Island or Port of Houston. These are the 3 very good examples across the world which are developed as petrochemical hubs as you are envisioning, sir. So for that, sir, there is a need for having a anchor who is ready to provide the common facilities, the utilities, the effluent treatment plants, the power, the water, the treated water, the potable water, the light, the lightning, the area development, all those kinds of common facilities. Somebody has to do it. But the dilemma here comes that when one person starts doing it or one company starts doing it, they are looking for the consumer also. So it's a conventional chicken and egg story. So for that, sir, I can only humbly suggest, sir, that when we move forward, we'll have to have a system wherein we will have to bring in a utility provider, maybe a couple of them or maybe more of them, and then we have to give them some assurance of offtake that yes, for the initial 5 years I will support you, or initial 7 years I will support you, and then with that assurance I go to the investors, because there will be n number of investors which will be required to come at the downstream. Just taking out, like putting up a $10 billion facility and hoping that something will happen, it will not happen, sir. We'll have to actively entice, we'll have to actively bring people there, and and this is the biggest carrot that is there, that your utilities and your common facilities, you don't have to invest on them. You only have to give the OPEX, you only have to pay for the money that you use, and you will be ready to go. It's a kind of a plug and play kind of a system. That, in our experience, I have seen across various petrochemical hubs. That is the way it works. Maybe we can, going further, we can work on that. Thank you.
Sir, you wanted to come in on that?
No, as you rightly mentioned, always, petrochemical is one. Or green energy, green hydrogen is one stream. Then downstream industries, how to go about, how to create that ecosystem. One is infrastructure, one is downstream industries, promotion, and at the same time creating market also. Then only it will be sustainable venture.
Yeah.
So that is where, as you rightly mentioned, for the last 15 years we are talking, we have stopped at one level. If you go to Singapore, that is one of the best Jurong Island. They have done very well. We want to bring similar to India for the last 10 years. We are unable to bring as on today. So
what has been the biggest deterrent? Why you haven't been able to do what you envisioned doing over the course of a decade?
sometimes that eco players, now BPCL has come, Ramayampatnam they are doing. Now they may need some more technological partners or downstream industries, how to bring them as a consortium. That is another area. Now NTPC is going. Now they have to create market also simultaneously, downstream industries, but there is a future. Initial mover will have an advantage. And at the same time, initial mover will have a tough time to break through.
Yes, they'll have the first mover advantage, but they'll also have to do the heavy lifting, and that usually is the case. Well, we have two engineers. How can you not have a consultant? So we do have a consultant here on the panel as well. So Gaurav,
I apologize.
not at all. But in light of what you've heard so far, and you're based in Singapore. We were just giving the Singapore example as well. Take me through how you see this problem and how we should be addressing it.
Well, I'm not only not an engineer, I studied philosophy, so
That makes the
I
two
think
of
I'm
us,
really
by the
on
way.
the opposite end of the spectrum. I think one thing that we've heard today is vision, which I think is really important because you're making such a huge investment, and that is an advantage, right? In today's world, any new both port and hub that is being built has to think about what is competitive advantage for the next 30 years. It's not about the reaction to what's happening today. It's not about Trump pulling out of the climate. It's about 30 years and where's the world heading? And so competitive advantage in this space has to be one that knows what to do with $100 carbon price and beyond. And so I think it's very exciting, everything that I've at least heard on the panel, and I'm learning a lot, that the way you're thinking about developing this is actually thinking about being competitive in the future. And Jurong is often brought up as that example. But again, if you look at, it's not just shared utilities, it's that those shared utilities have decarbonization very much built into them. Singapore is thinking very far ahead around the price. how to be price competitive, how to be quality and price competitive, and they know price will have to deal with carbon. So, they have a shared carbon capture hub. They have multiple different types of industries there. And I think it's a great example for Andhra to be thinking about. Just the other thing I would say is when we actually think about how these things get developed, it's worth noting that there is no one who is advocating for or lobbying for the future. Everyone in the room is tied to the present. Their money comes from the present. And so as we think about what are the types of investments needed to be cost competitive for 3 decades, we have to be thinking about the people who are not in the room. And that is a lot of what I think Singapore thinks about. To some extent, it is what has allowed even the American sort of Gulf hub to also be successful, is this idea of the innovation you need to win the future. And so I think it'd be great to also be thinking about how we drive innovation into this market.
No, absolutely. I think innovation is very, very important. The future is very important, but you need cash flows to fund the present in order for you to fund the future as well. And I think that was the point that was being made by Mr. Singh and Mr. Sani as well. But let's talk about the NTPC example, Mr. Singh, and let's use that as a used case to try and envision what we can possibly do to marry the needs of renewable energy, the needs of the consumption that is expected to move higher, but also to leverage the strengths that Mr. Naidu just spoke of.
Yeah, I think it's very right that how we can utilize the kind of the natural resources what we are having in the state, and what is the kind of the leadership what is able to really capitalize on the resources. But otherwise, I think the most of the states where the natural resources are there, they don't capitalize on that. And I think this is a very, very important point. And vision-wise, we all know that, as I said earlier, who can be the better? I think it is we can say that with his permission that he works like a chief executive officer, and a very hard task was on that what he's taking. So let me I think tell something about this Pudi Madka, what we have envisaged and what we are working. So this will be requiring around 20 gigawatt of the solar power, 20 to 25 gigawatt. And we have now, Honorable CM has approved the joint venture with NRED CAP, which is the renewable energy of the state of Andhra. So our NGEL, NTPC Green Energy and NRED CAP is having the joint venture. So we will be jointly putting the this 20 to 25 gigawatt.
Right.
Now we have this Pudi Madka, which is very close to our existing power plant called Simadri. And when we are talking about today, we already have the blueprint and the work is started on that, because that's what every time I think of CM, I think the deadline comes to our mind that how we are going to be.
I know he used to have a dashboard, sir. Do you still have a dashboard that has deadlines flashing on it? For every project, you still have it.
So let me, I think this is very interesting to know. That Simadri power station, which is the coal-fired power station, but we can have the kind of the blending of the biomass along with that. So what we intend is that torrefied biomass can be blended along with that, and we intend to go up to 20-25% of that, and try to capture the carbon dioxide from there. And there is a pipeline which is going to be 20 kilometers. The CO2 will be pumped to this Pudi Madka plant. So we will have the CO2. Now there is going to be a requirement from the EU side,
right,
which is going to be that you cannot have the intermingled electron.
Yes.
So there has to be a dedicated transmission line from your solar plant or the storage, and then it is coming so that you are not mixing the power which is coming from the other sources. So those are already we have envisaged those things. So the power will come to Pudi Madka, and Pudi Madka is going to be a kind of park where we will invest on our own, means whether it's joint venture or NGEL, or we will be inviting the others also. We had been talking like what was mentioned about Jorang, Surabaya, all others. Today also I had 2 meetings that what can be the offtake. So till now we had been importing the hydrocarbons. So tomorrow we will be in a position to export the hydrocarbon. I think this is how it is. So let me, I think, add hurriedly here that you had been following very closely this renewable energy about 10, 12 years back. Everybody was very apprehensive. And don't get in a kind of surprise that after 10, 15 years, you will find that our natural resources will be harnessed in a way that we are not dependent on the exports for this hydrocarbon on that side.
Yeah.
So what we have envisaged, this is going to be in the 3 stages. So it's already there some of the infrastructure work which is going on at present. We have started there some work on that. This will be approximately 700 crore, something like that by 26. This is this year, next year. Then the first phase, and it's when there will be methanol and ethanol kind. That's and then the real value addition will be coming from the sustainable aviation fuel and the green urea, which is not only this is the real downstream on that, which you can also the agriculture will also be helped on a large way. So this is a very ideal location, and this location was supposed to be for imported coal-based power plant. Yes. So which, with blessing from Honorable CM, we had been able to really convert that the site, and the approval has been now given that it will be now the green hydrogen hub. And that will be instead of importing the coal, which is the carbon, we will be able to export the from there. So that is what the vision is. And as it is very clearly that there will be many people who will be having apprehensions in their mind, but you will have to be optimistic. You will have to just go on along, and we are sure that what the revolution has come in the renewable energy in the form of the solar power, which is now even solar plus storage, 4 hours. Yes. We have bid for 3 rupee 52 paise. You would have been following that. Yes. So even with the 4-hour storage. So maybe I think this is going to prove to be a very, very powerful tool for the self-reliant India. So that is what I think Bharat ka jo Atmanirbharta jo hai, wo, I think that is what is going to be the key factor.
You gave us the context of what is happening on the renewable energy side. The government, of course, has a target of 500 gigawatts, and what we're being able to do currently is about between 25 to 30 gigawatts annually, and the hope is that we'll be able to get to 50 gigawatts soon. And plenty that's happened on that side as far as manufacturing in India is concerned, which has dropped prices significantly when we talk about energy. Mr. Naidu, you wanted to make a comment on what you heard there from Mr. Singh?
No, I entirely agree with Singh. In green energy, green hydrogen, I am very happy to inform India is taking lead. People are talking. Now green hydrogen, they started, they are working. Even one more company, Greenco, they are back and they are having green energy. Now they are going for green hydrogen downstream, ammonia, other areas. Then people will think, where is the market? How to go? There is market. Is it affordable or not? There is another question mark. So with all these things, what I wanted to impress everybody, originally around 10 years back or maximum 15 years back, solar power 15 rupees, 16 rupees unit, prohibitive cost. Then nobody used to talk about it. Around again 2014, we thought innovative ways. How to reduce the cost, go for scaling. Then we have gone in a big way, solar, wind, all these things. Around 2018, I announced unit cost will come down around 1 rupee 50 paisa to 2 rupees. Today, around 2 rupees, 2 rupees 30 paisa, 40 paisa, it has come. One story I will tell you. Yes. When telecom revolution, at that time I was responsible, I gave Vajpayee ji to go for deregulation of telecommunication sector in India. Then he agreed, he has deregulated, transformed the sector. At that time, ordinary phone, 20,000 rupees. Luxurious. Then I met Dhirubhai Ambani ji. I met him, I told him, technology is fast changing, either as on today, news channels are coming. It will go to satellite. From there it is coming. Voice is coming through BSNL lines. Data is coming differently. Tomorrow convergence is coming. All voice, video, or text, everything will come automatically. Bandwidth, if you see fiber, originally we used to use copper. People used to cut it and melt it and sell. That is more profitable. Now fiber has come. Because of fiber, there is no need to have any raw material. Only we have to ignite little power. Then he started this industry. Then he announced at that time $5 billion US. From 20,000 to 2,000 rupees it has come. Drastic reduction prices because of scaling and technology and manufacturing. That is how green hydrogen is a necessity. There is no other way. But how to reduce cost, how to create ecosystem, it is our duty for innovators to innovate.
Well, how to reduce costs and how to get customers to pay is the other challenge that we have, and that we.
No, that is what I'm saying. Sustainability.
Yes, absolutely.
Short term, medium term, long term.
Absolutely, Mrs. Ani. I'll give you closing comments now. To investors who are looking, both domestic as well as foreign investors, at the business case on why they should make these big ticket investments. What would you have to say to clear some of the doubts or some of the apprehensions that they may have?
On two fronts, I can say energy, it has been covered primarily by Mr. Singh only, and energy also I can add that the way it is growing, the demand of the country way it is growing, by 2040 it is going to be double of the energy demand which we are seeing today. It's around 800 to 900 million tons of oil equivalent. It will be around 2000 by 2040. So we can't survive with the kind of fossil fuel dependence that we are having right now, where maybe it coal, maybe it be oil, maybe it is gas, it can't be there. So a substantial portion of all new energy has to come from the sustainable areas. And we are all working towards that. In fact, in our case, in Indian Oil, all my new projects which are coming, we are increasing our capacities by 20% or so, but all my new capacities are coming which will be powered by renewable energy only. We are not going to put up any captive energy plants for this, for fossil fired. So that is one part of it. The energy part is growing. It has to grow, and it has to go substantially on the sustainable basis. That is one. On the other side, why investors should come and invest in futuristic petchem projects or the downstream ones. I'll say that today, India is at around 30 million tons of petchem consumption, out of which around 25% of it is getting imported. Around 10 million tons of it is getting imported, 20-25 million tons we are producing. Going forward, by 2040, we will be seeing at least 2.5 to 3 times more consumption in India. With the kind of GDP, sir, as was telling, the kind of GDP growth, kind of urbanization, kind of middle class earning power, kind of standards of living improvement, sort of healthcare improvement, all this is adding to petchem consumption. So it is going up to 70 to 80 million tons by 2040. So if we are not putting up capacities here, we will be, you can imagine how much dependence it will be there on the imported petchem. And then we will be like paying for it. So this is imperative. Every investor has to, like whoever is there in the oil and gas business, it's a very decent hedge that we have to have for our production. And this is the way to grow, I suppose. And with leadership that the Honorable CM is giving, and others also in the states and in the center, we will have a very conducive atmosphere for all the investors to come here and come to India and invest. Thank you.
Closing comments from you.
Well, I've seen the Honorable CM's aspirations before on IT, and it's, what's amazing about it is it's not about winning the domestic market. It's not about being the best state in India. It's about being the best. And I think this brings us back to this idea of how does the hub be competitive globally, right? And I think with 2027, chemicals will be part of the carbon adjustment mechanism in Europe. I mean, they haven't announced it, but they've certainly hinted at it. And so I think when you talk about customers and affordability, that purchasing is coming down the line, and to be ready for that market by saying we're both low cost and we're carbon, low carbon, is an enormous opportunity for India to take actual global leadership on this.
Mr. Naidu, I'll give you the closing comments, sir, the final say, your pitch to investors who are looking at the state of Andhra Pradesh and specifically at the petchem sector.
I entirely agree with all speakers. Sustainability, short term, medium term, long term. Sustainability with environment link also is important. Petrochemical, being a petrochemical man, IOC, is using green energy. That is the reality. Whenever it is affordable, is using. Whenever there is a must, is going for petrochemical. Now, recent times, you have seen Silicon Valley. There is no water. Environmental imbalance. Because of that fire, how much loss? 4 lakh crores. Now, because of environment, cloud bursting. At a place, 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters. That is another problem. For all these things, you cannot misuse nature. You have to protect nature. For everything, there is some price. We have to correct the price, right time. Then it will be a win-win situation. That is what is happening now. Even Paris Agreement, all these things. Everything is a matter of time.
Yes.
Originally, everybody used to heckle me when I used to talk about information technology. Yeah. Today, everybody is linked with information technology. Otherwise, he cannot perform. So it is which is good. Phase 1, which is the next, it is a matter of time. Mm-hmm. And also we have to work in that direction. It is a reality. Petrochemical has to go. Yeah. Green energy has to come. Both has to manage simultaneously for transition period. That is my assessment.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Naidu. We hope that the sun does rise on the ambition and the aspiration of making Andhra Pradesh a petrochemical hub. But appreciate your time and your thoughts, and my many thanks to the
not only petrochemical hub, green hydrogen hub also.
Green hydrogen hub also.
For sustainability, be clear. Not only one, both managing simultaneously.
Absolutely. Yes, so we need a symbiotic relationship. We need a symbiotic relationship. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us here today. And thank you very much for giving us an insight into where things stand for the market, but more importantly, what the future looks like. Appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our panel this afternoon.